what would make this a really powerful conversation today? How can I support you?
I mean, I think to what you said is just to kind of, focus on me for a little bit. To your point, like I do wear many hats, and I am helping a lot of other women and my family do what they want to do. And so I'm looking forward to this time to kind of explore and see, where it goes. And it's weird being being on this platform doing this sort of thing. So I appreciate you allowing me to have the opportunity, but know that I'm like going crazy.
Totally.
It's
So
all,
let's just sit for a couple seconds. Ease into it. You are someone who you're on the stage. You are often in front of a lot of people, a lot of women. You're often leading the conversations,
mhm.
and this can feel totally crazy and weird and uncomfortable. And we can let it feel that way.
Yeah, it's totally good. If I didn't think I could do it, I wouldn't be on.
So the thing about that, hearing you say that, it's funny because I just had this flashback like of what I know of all of your accomplishments and where you've been. You are someone who has accomplished a lot in life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never really thought of it that way. I think I've just been and done a lot of things, and all of which has led me here to where I am today, which is a super happy place doing what I love to do. And not a lot of people can say that, but I can say that it's taken 20 plus years to
Mm.
start realizing a passion and where I think I belong, and what makes me happy. So it's been quite a journey.
Mm.
Quite a journey. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been a series of saying yes that have led you to this point. Like a saying yes here, a saying yes there, a saying yes here.
I'm probably saying yes too many times, but yes. But yes. Yeah. And times that I didn't want to say yes throughout my corporate career, but pushed because other people believed in me a heck of a lot more than I believed in myself, was really something that was just, I look back now and I'm thankful for those opportunities, but at the time it just made me want to hurl. But I've kind of been there a lot. But I think it's all kind of come together to prep me for today. So
Mm.
it's been quite a journey. Yeah.
Beautiful. You mentioned feeling this sense of passion and really like kind of knowing what you're here to do, sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and happiness that you feel now.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah. And a lot of fulfillment,
Mm.
actually. Um, with what I'm doing today, as you kind of alluded to, like I'm in front of a lot of women, a lot, just helping them to connect and to grow and to collaborate and to celebrate. And nothing gives me more joy than to be in the front row to help facilitate and help make that happen. I think I never really had that women supporting women feel my whole career until just a couple years ago. So now to experience it and want to continue to do that, and just something that I just absolutely, I love connecting people together for the better, has just been a completely rewarding experience, and one that I haven't really had until just about a year or two ago. So
Mm.
it's been a pretty amazing journey though, getting here, just going through that like competitive corporate, role, from growing up in a very competitive environment, playing sports, always striving to be like number one and be the best. And that kind of carried through my corporate career. I had a lot of guy friends because I didn't want to deal with the drama of being with women. So, I had a couple close girlfriends, and I still do, which I'm very thankful for. But I didn't really know the importance of that until recently. And so
Mm.
it's been a pretty, it's incredibly rewarding, and it's very fulfilling to know that this is how it can be and should be, that there can be an abundance mentality, which I never had, that we can all survive. There's plenty of air. We can all be in the same space and support each other and grow. And it's okay. I don't have to be number one anymore. I don't have to like work my ass off to like make sure I'm doing the best or being perfect or doing any of those things. But it's taken me, 20 plus years to figure that out. And so part of some of the things, the ideas that have been going on in my head is how can I help women in high school and college learn the things that I wish I knew back then that I know now. And so no matter what age of women I'm working with, it's just super exciting to like share this experience with them, to know that like we are all here for each other, and there's nothing like women getting together to support and cheer each other on and be there for you no matter what. And it's just been really amazingly fulfilling.
Wow.
Beyond words.
Wow.
Yeah, beyond words. Yeah.
I really feel your passion.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
feel it.
Yeah.
Just having that, just anytime I talk about, my role as a leader in this group, like I get nervous before meetings, even though I know it's going to go great, but I just get so excited because I just want the women to come and feel what it's all about. Like I can talk about it till I'm blue in the face, but until you come to our meeting and see what we offer, it's a feeling. It's not anything that I can say. I can talk about it, but you don't really get it until you show up. And
the feeling that it gives you, the way that it's so life-giving for you, you want to be able to really, really bring other women in so they can receive that same gift in return.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And I feed off the energy, and then and then I want that energy to bounce back. Like I just want it to keep going back and forth. And when that happens, it's just, you can feel it. It's just an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience. Yeah.
So knowing the high performer in you and the high achiever, is it a moment where you're just kind of living in the moment, like you're savoring this thing that you've created? Or is there this notion of, well, what do I do next? What do I do now with this? Like you've created this community, you have these women, and you know the feeling that it gives you. Is there contentment, or is it like, I'm ready to turn up the dial even more?
Yeah. I think it's a combination of all of it. It's wanting to share this with as many women as possible. And there's that fear of getting too big, but I'm like, you know what? You can never have too many women in your life. You never know the power of that one connection that you might make. And it might take you going through 15, 20 women in there. You just don't know who that one connection is going to be that's going to turn your life around or help catapult yourself or catapult your business. And so just having the community that allows that kind of connection and relationship building to happen because of the possibility of what it might bring is just cool. I'm never going to be content, no, because I feel like there's always women that need this kind of group, whether it's ours or another one, it doesn't even matter. It's just, I want all women to experience what it's like to have your tribe. And to have those women around that are going to cheer you on and be there for you, give you a resource, give you a referral, whatever it's going to be that you're looking for. But I think there's a lot more to do, not just with getting women, to be experiencing what it's like to be part of a group, whether you have a business or not. Just being around that positive energy is just unreal. But how can we share that with the younger generations? Like, how can we help them understand the importance of this kind of community and what it can do for you, at a younger age? So that's kind of a lot of where my ideas have been coming. There's been I'm listening to the universe. There's been a lot of things happening over the past 4 months that has kind of nudged me to be like, Jackie, you need to figure this out. What else can you be doing? How else can you give back? What other women need you at a different demographic than we might currently be, working with? to help them experience what we experience every day.
You mentioned this draw and connection to the youth, high school, college level women. What would the 18-year-old, the 20-year-old Jackie, what would she have wanted to hear or to receive at that age that she didn't hear or get?
I would have blown it. I honestly would have blown it off. I'm like, life's good. I'm good. You know, I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I think it's just experiencing what it's like. I don't know that it's something that you can hear. It's just say, hey, come along. You need to kind of be part of something. You need to at least see what it could be like. And I think at that age, it's hard. I don't know that you really know where you want to go or what you want to do, but to have some kind of mentor or some kind of guidance with, you know, it's not going to be what you know, it's going to be who you know. And when you are surrounding yourself with positive people, like that want the best for you, you can go anywhere. You know, we have a college student as part of our group because her mom saw the value of what polka dot is, and just the fact that she saw that for her daughter and that her daughter comes and gets it. It's like, I don't know. And granted, I think a couple years older makes a little bit of a difference, but as an 18-year-old, I would be like, yeah, whatever. I don't need that. What do I need that for? And I think that's part of at least just becoming aware of the possibilities, whether you realize it at 18 or 22 or 24. I think the sooner, and I think there's opportunity to even go younger. I just don't know that I connect, going even younger, but I think there's opportunities to do that. And I think there's organizations that are doing it.
So I would be willing to bet that women at that age need this more than ever before. Just with the nature of where we are as a society, with the social pressures, the academic pressures. And so you have this girl that is showing up already, like this powerful seed is already being planted, right? And so what do you do with that?
Yeah, that's the fun part. You know, I think it's just, I don't know, because I think people can approach making connections and doing this kind of thing differently. So I'm very introverted. I've kind of grown out of that a little bit. I'm more of an ambivert, so I can, be some extroverted, when I need to be or when I want to be. But as soon as I'm done that, I'm like, get me back home by myself for the book. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. And I think even just to learn and understand different personalities are going to kind of need or want to approach things differently. I would love to pair up with someone who's very much an extroverted to be like, hey, this is how someone like you or someone like me could, start to get to know people and build your network and work on your tribe. But if you have a different personality where you're a go-getter, it might be so much easier for you, but you don't know that. And it's part of it, it's just understanding different personalities and how people engage differently in those kinds of situations, and sharing, what would be a great way if you're an introvert to get yourself out there and get to meet more people. It's a heck of a lot different than someone who doesn't think twice about going up and talking to a stranger. And I think part of that could be like why, I didn't really start to experience that. There's a lot of things I think that build up, just having that competitiveness, always having guy friends, not really understanding the importance, but I think I would handle it differently.
So I want you to help connect the dots for me a little bit, because I find this really, I'm really curious, because you already lead a room of extrovert and introverted women.
Yeah.
So how does this inform reaching the younger generation?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an opportunity then to just connect them with someone that might be maybe a little bit of step up from what might be out of their comfort zone, with someone who, it could be pairing up and obviously mentoring, but not mentoring with someone that's exactly like them, because I don't know how that helps anyone, but just to pair them up, explore possibilities of what things could be or what they could be like. I don't know if I'm getting at your question, but you're right. Like we get a whole gamut. And as soon as I can identify someone who is maybe more introverted or might be kind of a little holding back, I'm going to connect them with someone who just might be a little step up, that understands where they're coming from or has been there, but that can help guide them and introduce them and just make them feel welcomed. And a lot of times once you do that, like guards get let down and you're a little more open to the possibility. So it's, you know.
I see. So what I'm hearing from you is your heart is really in the connecting. So having the, like bringing the adults together with the younger women, but really connecting them in more of a mentoring type of way. That's kind of what you're visualizing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's part, I think that's just part of it. I've had the opportunity this year to be a mentor through our chamber mentor program. So, and I think last year I had the opportunity to participate and I kind of shot it down like, nope, I'm not ready. And then when I was approached again this year to be part of it, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. And so I'm a mentor to a high school junior. And this program is amazing. And it's mostly for career exploration. You know, it's not the cream of the crop student that might already know where they want to go and what they want to do. It's that good student that just needs some direction. And God, it's been a powerful experience. You know, maybe for her, I hope so. But more, I'm getting so much more out of this than I ever thought I would. And I think so that's part of some of these things that have been happening that I'm like, okay, I've got to do more with this gift that I have to connect and share and like help expose girls and women, you know, to the possibility of what can happen when you're surrounding yourself with these quality, high energy, high vibe people. And so that has been, so there is some pieces of that. I think that it could be part of what I think, you know, as a possibility to move forward with. And, you know, and for her to have been exposed to something that she didn't even know existed, to now have a career that she thinks she wants to explore, has been like that alone in a nutshell. I'm like, I'm good. Like, I feel like just to know that she's excited about a possibility is just, it's just rewarding. It's rewarding as heck.
That's where it's at.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's have some fun with this. Let's whiteboard this. Do you have paper and pen in front of you?
I do actually.
So let's vision this. Let's put this on paper. I want you to think about if, let's say we come together and it's December 2020 and you look back on your best year yet. And I want you to think about what instantly comes to mind without making it too heady. What have you managed to create? And I want you to just write down any words that come to mind, any mantras, any visuals that you see, any feelings, emotions, any of that. And just, I want you to take like a minute and just put it on paper.
Ah, no.
Ink run out?
Shoot. And these were remarkable and everything just erased. So just let me see if
Oh no.
I heard it. I hit the page forward button. Yeah. Yeah. Feels good.
What's coming out?
Yeah. Giving back, making a difference, sharing the power of a connection, helping, guiding, speaking.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no, I'm sure.
Mm.
making a difference and giving back. I think, I don't know if I've done enough of that. And I think that there's a lot, there's a lot I can do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So as a sidebar, I can tell you that you've made a shit ton of difference to a lot of people. And you do so every day and every week and every month. And it's really easy to not celebrate ourselves for that, right? Because we tend to get caught up in life and focused on what's not working and what we're not doing. But just know that you make an incredible difference by being you. And I get this desire that you have to now turn up the dial a bit.
Yeah. I think there's always more to do, right? Like I don't want to be satisfied. I mean, I'm thrilled. I love where I am, but I think that there's more that needs to be done, more that can be done, more that I want to do. And now it's trying to figure out how I can fit something else into an already busy and an already an overflowing plate. So I need to work on time management and what my priorities are and let things go if that is what needs to happen. But I think that so there's going to be a lot that I need to work on personally to get to where I think I want to be at the end of the year, by the end of the year.
What if it didn't have to be that way? What if we were to reverse this and you get crystal clear and dialed in here as to what further fleshing out what that guiding, making a difference, coaching, mentoring, speaking really looks like for you on that next level. And when you have that, the how will come into place. That will all figure its way through.
Yep.
We love to focus on the how though, right? That gives us more comfort. Like, oh my gosh, what I'm going to have to say no to this thing, move this thing, rearrange this thing. Put that on the side. It doesn't even matter. That will be worked out when you are truly dialed in and clear on what Jackie needs to do in these next 11 and 12 months.
Yeah.
What fuels her in here.
I'm a planner. So and I'm very rigid and structured. So yes. So thinking like that is it's a total shift. But I mean, I can see how that would make a difference, that when you do focus on what you want, it should make it easier when you understand your passions to say no to the things that don't serve where you're trying to go and what to do.
And here's the thing, you are perfect the way you are. You get to stay a planner and have the structure and the discipline. That's totally fine. If that's working for you, if that feels really good for you, we don't want to change that. Rather, this is just really about having that clarity and that mission moment for you, that fuel to the fire. And then we can figure out, we can do the block scheduling and the calendars and the checklists. All of that can come into play.
Yeah. Yeah. But right now, like I struggle just even, I have commitments, to my household, which, as I start looking at how I spend my time, like managing the house and the kids and a dinner, like what's a dinner? And this year I've really been trying to commit to making sure there's a healthy dinner on the table. And I do my best and get some help with my youngest who loves to cook. And we try and do some things together and we're trying to work on that. But like, there's only so many hours in the day. And part of it is me needing to get up early so that I can have the time to do, because there are things that I have to do and that are a priority. I don't want to say have to, but I am responsible for the house and the kids and all that goes around with that, and house projects and all these other things that we have going on. And it's kind of been, it's been overwhelming. It's been overwhelming to try and do it all, be successful and figure out what my life is like outside of that structured corporate life that I used to have. And so it's still like, I'm still feeling that out. And it's been several, it's been a few years, but it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I don't know. I hear you.
Let's play with your day for a minute.
Yeah.
So walk me through what an ideal day in your world would look like from start to finish.
An ideal day.
Mhm.
Yeah. Ideal would be to get up super early. Um, you know, do the affirmations, do some journaling, do some meditation, get some great exercise in before anything starts. That would be ideal. Um, Having an opportunity to make sure that I'm planned with what needs to happen for the household and have dinner like there planned or ready to go. And then spending time on what I'm passionate about. And some of that includes then helping my husband with his businesses and supporting him because that is part of my role. That I loved it. And he has a very successful business, but relies on my support, and he needs to start giving me more the busier he gets so that I can take stuff off his plate so that he can continue to be successful. And then take time to kind of flush through some of these opportunities and what I could be doing more with hitting this, end of year kind of vision. And that's it. I mean, but I could go all day and all night with trying to figure that out. But ideally, that's what a day would look like: getting some exercise in, doing those things in the morning that I know I need to do. Sometimes I do, and just more often than not, I'm not. So, but I know when I do get that, it's amazing how the rest of the day flows and how more focused I am and how the energy flow. It's a whole, like, I get it. It just doesn't happen structurally because every day is different. Every day is different for me. Every single day, every single week of the month, just with the season and how things flow, it's never the same. And I would love for it to be structured and be similar day in, day out. It's hasn't happened. Nope. So
What would be required in order for there to be more structure and the way you want your day to flow? What would need to shift or happen or change?
yeah, I mean, I think some delegation, relying on people around me to help with more. I think it's just more, I'm working together with my resources, not just my family, but my friends and the women that I've grown to love, and try to, work with them to see, okay, I need to start delegating, or I need to start letting go of some stuff. Who and how is, ready to step up and help me with some of those things. But it's hard because I do those things and I love it. So I don't even think twice about it. It's just that I'm realizing it's just watching my time this week, which I started doing. Like, I spend so much time doing things that I'm like, I really should get someone else to, or this can be automated. So I'm working with someone who I think is going to help me with my processes and how to get some stuff automated so I don't have to spend the time in, and it'll be an intensive week of going through that, not just for the work that I do for myself, but for what I do for my husband. And I think that that's going to help a lot. So I just need to start. Part of that is process documentation and figuring out time and where I'm spending it. And so then it'll be some intensive time with her to come up with solutions with technology to save time and get some stuff off my plate. I just need to then sell it to my husband to be like, okay, there's going to be a cost to this, but I think it's going to open myself up, to be able to support him better, but then also start kind of taking on some things that I'm really passionate about.
Do you think it will open you up to more time, or do you know that it will?
I think it will. It has to. Like, if I can get some stuff off my plate and get it automated, even just paying certain bills, like, I know I should get that automatically withdrawn from my account. And I'll still spend that half hour doing certain things the way, because I want to have control over the money leaving my bank account when it could just be taken out and I don't have to think twice about it. It's a lot of stuff like that I think once it gets automated or delegated, that I can be done with it, and it's going to open up some slots. Then I'm not going to know what to do with myself. That's a whole other by nature. I'm just busy. It's all.
Well, that's not true. You will have the time that you need to pour into this big vision that you have.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, at the end of your long, beautiful life, it's not going to be about you paying the bills yourself. It's going to be about making a difference in the lives of these women.
Yeah, I know. And that feels so good. So yes. Yeah. I'm with you. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yep. So I'm working
I'm
on
not, I'm not here to be right. It's just reflecting back to you what's really what the reality is.
it. Yep.
And it all comes down to a choice.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. So I am working, so I'm working on that. And I've tried to do some of this before, but now at least I have a resource to help me see it through. Like,
Mhm.
yes, I know I have to time block. I have to kind of figure some things out, what I'm working on, what are the processes to help me figure out what can be automated and what we can put some technology to. And there's resources there that, that's just going to help. And
Mm.
so at least I have a reason now to get this done. Whereas before it's like, oh, just track your time. Oh, just figure out what you're doing, write it down, but for what? Now it's like, I know that there's a purpose for it that I can get help with then identifying how can I save myself time? How can we get this stuff delegated? How can we automate? And now there's a purpose. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So now I just need a deadline so that I can make sure that I stay on top of it because, right now there's not, but it has to be a priority for me to be able to do some of these other things that I want to do.
So I hear I have, I have to a lot. What if it just gets to be, I get to?
I get to. Yep.
What a beautiful gift to give yourself, your family, your husband, your community, and the world, allowing yourself the time and space and resources to automate the things in your life that don't get to take up your precious time and energy anymore because you have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
You have a community to impact.
Yep.
That's what this is about.
Yep. Yeah, I use that phrase, with our goals around our connection group, as a managing director, we have the opportunity to share, and I say, I get to, these are the things I get to. But it's easier for me to say I get to do these things for something that I'm so passionate about versus I get to do these things for something that, oh, I get to prep dinner, but I do get to prep dinner. It's just that sometimes I just don't want to, and so it's kind of not really something that I'm super passionate about, but something that I want to do to provide for my family, but not something that like gets me excited. That's for sure.
Mm.
Except for when I have the time to do it with my youngest. And so it is part of that is pulling him in more so that he and I can spend more time together doing something that he loves to do, but that I don't. But I would love to spend the time with him. I just don't want to prep the dinner.
Right.
So, but it's an opportunity.
So this next level leader, this next level woman, she gets to make empowered choices and only empowered choices. She gets to feel good and only feel good. And this isn't selfish. It's filling your cup in a way that you have so much more to then pour out into everyone around you who do need you.
Yeah.
So the dinners, and this is a whole entire paradigm shift, right? But you get to decide on those nights where the last thing you want to do is cook dinner. Do you just get to have a delivery service on occasion? Do you get to make it easier so you can spend your precious time doing what really matters more?
Mm-hmm.
And you get to not feel bad about that.
Yeah.
Does the woman that is out in the community leading and speaking and coaching and doing all the things, is she truly able to make dinner every single night? Maybe she is, maybe she's not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been one of those things that, it was happening way too often where I wasn't, and we would do what we'd call an FFY night, fend for yourself. And I think those were happening more often than not during the week, 3 times plus, and what they're making is not the best, but, and they can do it. So I know that they can, and I'm not worried about them not being able to fend for themselves because I, encourage them to do that more often than I need to. But you're right. I mean, it's okay to have happen every once in a while and just still do a meal service or do something where I can meal plan and prep for a week and just do it in one day, or do something where I can at least provide, but maybe not always be there to do it each time. Yeah.
Sometimes we just need the space to give ourselves permission.
Yeah.
And not feel bad about making a choice that's been a pattern that we've maybe just have taken on from our own mothers or families or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that you get to come back to always is, will this next level woman, mother, wife, change maker, community builder, will she make this choice or this choice for her life and for her family and for her business and for her mission that she is here to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty impactful way to look at it, for sure. And you're right, it's a total paradigm shift. Yep. And it's doable. Absolutely is doable. Yeah.
You're already leaning in. Like, you're having the conversation with the automation person, with the processes, you're getting really clear in the shifts that you need to make, and you're putting it out there, what you really want to create.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the very first step.
Absolutely. So I mean, I know it's going to happen. It's going to come in due time, but I do need to put some of these things in place in order to feel good about it. But you're right. It's also then just giving myself permission to allow those things to happen and to allow and open the space to let it go and to see it through.
It's really hard when we've been gripped on and in this dance of control our whole lives, right?
That's all I know. That's all I've known. Absolutely. Yeah, it's super hard. It is super hard. Yeah. And a lot of it is, it's that feeling of control, trust that the process is going to work and go the way it's supposed to when you want to see it through from step 1 to step 10. And you don't, and I know that you don't have to, but it is hard. Super
right.
hard,
so you've always been supported, right? Like through the corporate world, into starting your own business, into the decision to be a managing director, the ups and downs of life. God, universe, whatever you believe, has always had your back. You've always found your way through, and you're really clear in why every step of the journey was needed to get you to where you are.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, but there was never a doubt that I wasn't going to, in my mind, I was always going to figure things out and to get through, to do whatever I wanted to do and to get where I wanted to go. Like, I don't have those notions that, oh, I can't do this, or what if, like, it's just never an option. If it's something I want, I go for it and it happens. I don't know. Like, it's been kind of weird. Like, I don't have those. I have self-doubts in a different way, I think, just with how I would go about it. But in my mind, I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm going to get that. And I think that comes back to that competitive nature and having control. I'm like, nope, I got this. So it's always been a weird, some of the things that I think some women deal with uncertainties or anxieties, like, I'm sure I have them. I know I have them, but just, I think they show up differently for me. In my mind, I'm like, I know I'm going to get the support. I know I have the love. I know I can do this. Just do it. But then some of the reality starts hitting, and it's like, okay, you've got to put priorities and parameters and boundary. The boundary part's probably been the hardest for me lately, for doing everything that I want to be doing and things that I'm working on, the priority of what needs to be done, get it to happen.
Of course, but you haven't given yourself permission to create the space that you need.
Yep.
But that changes today. Because you get to have your needs met. You get to receive what it is that you feel will help you create this big vision that you have, because you know that by stepping into this vision, it will only support everyone around you even more. Yeah, absolutely. And it needs to, because, like, as my kids are getting older,
I'm starting to get that feel like, oh, I only have so much time left with them before they start moving on with their lives and having lives of their own, which is obviously what I want. But like, I'm starting to feel it now. It's my oldest just turned 16. He's getting more independence. And then I'm like, oh, and now I'm like, okay, where are we planning vacation? We got to do this while we can before he's not able to, take vacations or want to take vacations with us anymore. And so I'm starting to kind of feel that kind of, I get that kind of anxiety around things like, oh gosh, I only have so much time left. And am I being present enough? Like, am I going to look back and be like, oh, I wish I would have spent more time with them? And so now, so those are the kinds of things I'm grappling with more than ever before. And so it's been really weird for me to be like, I don't know. It never bothered me before. I'm like, oh, I'm teaching them to be independent. They can do this, they can do that. I don't have to be there for them all the time. But now I think because my oldest is getting older and getting more, I'm like, oh shoot, like, have I done enough? Am I spending enough time with them? Am I being more present? And I think being present is something that I've really needed to work on, that I want to work on this year, because I feel like I'm all over the place. And I think once some of these other things that we're talking about start happening, I think I'm going to feel better about that. But right now I'm like, oh, I just feel like I'm not there. I'm not there with them and being present.
Well, you're getting the signals that you need to make these shifts a priority, right? Like with the boys getting older, another reinforcement. Why does mama need to be the one that pays the bills or doesn't automate that piece?
Mm-hmm.
It's about getting those pesky things off the list that truly you do not need to be the person to do them.
Right.
And saying no to those things allows you to say yes to the stuff that matters most. Being present with the boys, working on the community stuff, supporting your husband, whatever that is.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So I think I've heard, like, because I've had these kinds of conversations. I mean, I've listened to podcasts, or I've listened. So it's just, but I don't think I've ever had this kind of conversation where I'm putting it directly towards what I need. I'd be like, oh yeah, that sounds great. Oh yeah, so I feel like I know, but it's like do. And I just have to take that step forward to like implement, all the things that I've been hearing and learning about, and taking action and being held accountable for it, versus just having it go through one ear out the other. Oh yeah, I got that, and it doesn't always work like that.
Yeah. Well, and for so long you've been putting everyone else's needs first, which is normal, right? For mamas and women. And in the same place, there's this like back of the mind piece of I feel what I want to do. I know I'm here to do something bigger, but it's like back here in the background.
Yeah.
And now it just might make sense to bring it front and center. Because when you have this, it becomes not I need to do that, I want to do that, but I can't not do that.
Yep.
And that is completely different energy.
Yep. Absolutely.
What will the kids and the husband, what will they say? How will they feel when they see you like setting those boundaries, saying no to some of the things, saying heck yes to the bigger things? How will that dynamic shift for you at home, do you think?
I mean, like, I want the kids to have that kind of strong female presence in their life, so that they know how to handle it when they, move on and, and get into a relationship, to know that it's okay for a woman to do the things that she wants to do, but that she can still do it and have the wherewithal to prioritize and do the other things that we're responsible for. And so I think it's important that they see that I can. Right now, I think they probably see a cluttered, crazy woman, rushing and stressing sometimes, to not feeling like I'm enough, or that I can get some things done, or not feeling present, feeling like I'm being bothered. Hey mom, I'm like, hold on, what? Let me finish this, and I need to just be like, yes, what do you want? And I think it's going to be important for them to see not only what they might want in a partner, or see that this is possible, but also for them to just respect that, you know, I think women's places in the world is changing. And so they need to start seeing that at home. And I think that they have, because I've always been doing something, but now it's like, it just looks a little bit different. So I think it's going to be important that they see these kinds of things I'm talking about, and not only see me do it, but then how can they apply the things that they see me do, because they are watching, they watch. And I want them to then be able to take some of the things that I'm learning and doing and apply them to their own life when the time is right. So I think it can be very powerful in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. So let's just kind of emphasize the conversation by setting up some new standards for you. So this next evolution of Jackie, and the leader and the woman and the mom and all the things, what are some new standards that you're going to put into place, and where we're shifting out of like the old way into the new way? What are some of your new non-negotiables?
Yeah.
For showing up.
Yeah. Showing up, being present, setting boundaries. Because I'll say yes to everything. I will go do everything. It's just what I've always done. And I don't even think twice about it. And then it's 9:30 at night. I'm like, what just happened with my day? And it's really just shutting down at a certain point. Like, there's definitely things that, that need to happen, that I want to happen, to be able to be present and to do the things that I want to do. Yeah. Yeah. I think boundaries. Yeah. I think those two things are, specifically are going to be super important. Yep.
Do you believe that you're a woman that can show up with powerful boundaries?
It sounds really good. I think I'm gonna have to. I think
I just want to lovingly interrupt you for 1 second. Here's why I asked that. You gave me the response back so quick, and it was up here, and I didn't really feel it. I didn't really feel it in your body.
Yeah. I think I know that it's going to have to. And so it's going to be, how bad do I really want these things that we've been talking about? How much of a priority is it going to be to make sure that I can hit some of these goals and do what I want to do and impact and do, give back the way I want to. So I think they're going to need to, otherwise I'm not going to be successful. So then that competitiveness comes through. It's like, well, then I'm going to have to do it. That's the way it's going to get done. It's the only way it's going to get done. And if I don't do those things, it won't.
If you didn't feel the need to create boundaries, would you want to create boundaries?
Yeah. Yeah.
My sense is that that is the very thing you need to be able to take a breath. And there's this resistance.
And I don't know what that is or why that's happening. Because yes, absolutely. Like, I don't set them. I don't.
What are you afraid might happen if you were to set some?
That I might have time to do nothing. I don't know what that's like.
Is that really true?
Yeah, I don't know what else. I would have time to just sit and probably just sit with my thoughts, sit with myself, but I wouldn't even know. I don't do that. Because I don't, like, it's 24/7. 24/7.
Would that give you time to work on what you really want to work on?
Yeah. Yeah, but even just to think and internalize what I think I want. I can, having these conversations is great, but like, has it really, how have I internalized some of this? To really, it's like, this is really, it's like, okay, I'm listening to the universe. There's things that have been popping up that, make me feel like these, like, is that really what I want? And I just tend to sit with it to be like, yes, that's what I want. Or no, but so I can't say that it's been pretty superficial. But I'm listening, which I never really had done before. There's been, like I said, a lot of things that have been kind of popping up to be like, Jackie, you need to do more with this. And I'm like, okay, yes, I do, because I feel it and I know it, but I haven't really sat with it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, to really think through, like, what truly does this look like and how truly would this work? So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really a lot of chatter, but really internalizing the possibilities. And do you really want it? Are you really going to go for it? And how will you do that? Back to the how.
So I just want to check in on time, because I sense that you might have something else to do.
Oh no.
So do you have about 5 more minutes to, okay. So it's kind of like with anything, we can hear something and it can come in one ear and spend some time, hang out a little bit, but then ultimately go right back out, right? So this is where allowing it to really soak in and allowing ourselves to sit with the feeling of allowing that thing into our lives, creating that thing, what that could really mean.
Right.
And so there's this exercise that you can try that might help with this. And so in the morning, when you're fresh, when you're the clearest channel for the divine to flow through, you can ask yourself these 4 questions. And they're totally simple. And it's, how do I want to feel today? Who do I want to be today? What do I want to give today? And what do I want to receive today? And that is often the hardest one, because we're so good at giving, but not that great at receiving. And so now, could it just be that this new chapter for Jackie is allowing yourself the gift of receiving all that is coming your way, receiving support, receiving people to delegate to, receiving space to be present with the kids, receiving new opportunities and women in the community. Receiving permission that only you can give yourself to step into all of that and allow it to be your new reality.
Yes. I love that. I love it. I can do that exercise. Do you journal? Would you journal that or just think it?
I journal it every morning, and it's been a game changer.
I believe that. I can see how that would be.
And you have to commit to doing it, right? So we can have these thoughts, but really, without allowing the true space and time to process, it's hard to get behind the thought. It's hard to get behind the thing and actually do the thing.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's where I am right now. That's why I feel like this conversation has been super helpful. And I can see how this exercise would help me do that. I don't know without it if it would. Again, it would be a great conversation, but like, I think this would be something that would help give me something tangible and something to really sit with, really think about these 4 questions, which are super important. And to your point, to allow myself to receive. And that's big. That would be a shift. A welcome shift though.
The act of giving has to be balanced with equal parts receiving, or there is an imbalance. So you've been up here in giving, and the receiving bit has been down here. We need to get that equal.
Yep. Yeah. And I think just to even think about how I would receive more is going to help bring that more into balance, or at least to give me something to start being more aware of the possibility. Because right now it's not at all. It's give, give, give. And I don't even think twice about it because it fulfills me and I'm good with it. But to your point, like it really does need to be in more balance. And I think with that balance comes all these other things that I think, or that I want. So
yeah,
absolutely.
because if you're really serious, which I know you are seriously wanting more, to be given the gift of more women under your care, because that's just really what it is when we're in leadership. If you're serious about that, you need to show that you're serious in how you care for you, and that you keep your cup in full overflow, because it's the overflow that those new women will reap the benefit of. How do you feel?
Awesome. Awesome. This flew by.
It did. My goodness.
It's amazing. I really appreciate your insight and your ability to kind of ask the right questions to get some things out of me that that I think are really gonna help me align and work towards. And I think without having the tool and how, because we know it always goes back to a process for me, but to have something tangible that I can do to help get me aligned with my goals and the things that I want in life is invaluable. I appreciate you exploring all of this with me, because I think it's very meaningful and I really appreciate it.
It's been such an honor. And just one final piece to that, in the alignment, that I just got back from a mentor's retreat, and the conversation was around discipline, how to nurture and cultivate discipline. And that's not something that I'm challenged with. And I particularly hate the word discipline, because back in corporate, it has a really negative meaning to me. And yet I'm as disciplined as they come. For me, it is about alignment. And the majority of women are not in alignment with themselves and their lives. And that's why there's chaos. And so you are exactly right. This is about finding that alignment for you in every aspect of your life. From that place, that's where the magic happens. The structure will be there, the impact will be there, the income will be there, the presence, the space, the energy, the abundance, all of it will be there, but you have to find that alignment for you. So I'm glad that this will help you do that.
Thank you so much.
You are amazing.
Appreciate you.
My pleasure. I hope that you have an amazing rest of your week. And thank you for spending the time. It was so fun.
It was so fun. Thank you so much for having me. I love you, girl.
Love you too, honey. I will see you soon.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye.